What are some of the common traps and perhaps mistakes that young people fall for when entering the property market?
So I think the first trap is that it's easy to buy a property. So if a young person is entering the market wanting to invest in property, it's easy. You can just go to the bank, apply for a bond, particularly if you have a good credit score. You can apply for the bond, and then what they do, they then would take the property and advertise it or through a letting agent or by themselves on private property 24, and then they get a tenant to move in. So the trap is that that's not the right way of investing in property. You need to make sure that before you invest in property, you study your areas, learn about your areas, learn to spot the opportunities. Most importantly, learn to run your numbers, because property investing is all about numbers. You need to learn to run your ROI, return on investment. Before you buy, you need to learn how to calculate your gross yields. Those are indications that will let you know if your property will cash flow from day one or not. You need to learn about your ROE, return on equity, over time as well. So those are important numbers you need to learn about before you buy, because think about it, if you don't know how to run your numbers, you'll make mistakes and then you'll end up losing money in property. So those are some of the mistakes. People saying, well, I've always wanted to invest in property, and they invest in property the wrong way, and down the line they find themselves in a position whereby they're either subsidizing their properties, which means they've got tenants moving into the properties, and once the tenant has put down the rent is not enough to cover all expenses attached to their property. So they're busy subsidizing these properties. In a sense, I like to call it that, you bought a property with the purpose of investing in property, you got a tenant moving in, and now this property is not making you money. So essentially what you're doing is that you're paying for your tenant's lifestyle. You've got this beautiful property you bought, your tenant is there, you're paying for their lifestyle. So that's not how we want to be investing in property. So you want to make sure that it makes you money from day one. Yes, we like to invest in property for capital growth. Obviously, historically, property is proven to be the most solid form of investing throughout time. But one should be mindful and say, if you're investing in property, you got to make sure that it's going to be making you money. It's got to be leaving you with money to put a plate on top of the table. And that all comes from you investing in yourself first before you invest in property. So it's very important to upskill yourself and learn about all these things before you invest. And that's how you'll avoid things.